expect a roller coaster year in the US. I expect the top very soon, early in Q1 of 25, and then a sell-off of a little bit over 1,000 points in the S&P, or 15 to 20%, triggered by uncertainty about the Trump trade policy, the tariffs, a trading environment good for traders, and hell for investors, for buy-hold investors.
Felix Zulauf returns to the show. He is a founder of Zulauf Consulting. We'll get his outlook on stocks, bond markets, monetary policy, the outlook for the economy, and the biggest things that investors need to be paying attention to in 2025. Felix, always good to have you. Welcome back to the show. Good to see you.
My pleasure. Thank you very much, David, for inviting me.
One of your recent reports is called The Trump Bubble. Many themes covered in that report, and of course you write very frequently. We'll talk about that report and some recent news, but what is a Trump bubble for you?
Well, the Trump bubble is just Trump accelerated the uptrend and the euphoria in the marketplace. The bubble has been building for the last 2 years. It is driven by tremendous liquidity that the Fed injected via the back door, via reverse repurchase agreements and things like that. And we are now at the level in terms of valuation that is the highest or second highest in the last 140 years. And when you get to those levels, as a long-term investor, when valuation is high, your future return is low, and vice versa. And bubbles, when you have parabolic markets, they do not correct by going sideways. So one extreme in one direction will eventually be corrected by going in the other direction and to another extreme again. So my point is that I would like to help people to get off the train before there is a train wreck.
American equities for 2025, is that still going to be the leader compared to European equities, Japanese, and perhaps Chinese?
I think it's the markets will swing together in sync. China will underperform, Europe will underperform, all the markets will underperform the US, except when I'm right in the portfolio strategy. I expect a roller coaster year in the US. I expect the top very soon, early in Q1 of 25, and then a sell-off of maybe a little bit over 1,000 points in the S&P, or 15 to 20% in the major indices. Triggered by uncertainty about the Trump trade policy, the tariffs, and perhaps also the Doji cuts that people are talking about. And that could lead to an important low sometimes in the second quarter, which I think will then be supported and helped by the Fed by easing, and then we go into another rally. Most likely back to the highs or even a little bit higher than what we have seen, maybe to 7,000 or something like that on the S&P. And further out is unclear because it really depends on what sort of policies in detail are getting into place. Because the policies that are being discussed in Washington are highly disruptive policies for the world economy, and that will have an importance for the US economy as well. The tariffs we are talking about, if Trump introduces those tariffs, it would be similar to the tariffs we had in place from 1900 to the end of World War II. And if he introduces only half of that, it would still be the tariffs from the beginning of World War I to the end of World War II.